Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome back to Cannon Fodder. Yes, we've got Des. Bring it back. Yeah, the channel for Arsenal fans, literally all over this world. Yeah, but we're all coming from the same part of the continent, I think. Yeah, listen, really good performance. Really good performance. Yeah, Sheffield United versus Arsenal. And we got a clean sheet, lads. Clean sheet. And one man of the match. You have to wait. Yeah, you have to wait. Yeah, let's talk about it on the other side of this music intro. 3-0 to the Arsenal. My wife's just telling me, shut up, Alex. Shut it. Behave yourself, Mrs. Fodder.
Easy,
no,
Tiger.
What she said, it was a miracle that Arsenal won, and we kept the clean sheets. Yeah, that's what she actually said. Yeah. Anyway, guys, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell so you can receive all the latest news right here. Right, LTL Gazer.
Yeah.
Happy?
Well, I did predict a 3-1, and I didn't want to be proved right. Once we went 3-0 up, I just wanted a clean sheet. I thought Maori, every time we play Maori, we do well. Somebody put up something about every time we have a run of poor games and play Martinelli, he scores and Arsenal win. So, and they put up 3 examples of that over the period of time. So it was a well-deserved win. And we'll talk about man of the match, but I'm sure it's fairly obvious after that wonderful performance.
Brilliant. Des, bring it, Des.
Good evening. I'm just glad I can bring it again, and hopefully I can bring it as good as I did the other night. Really enjoyed that. And I'm here with LTL and the Gangster Brothers. You know what I mean? So it's all going to be legendary tonight, guys. It's just going to be a whole lot of fun. Join in, make your comments, just enjoy yourselves, and let's have a real good time.
Brilliant. And of course,
no, it's right. When me and the 2 gangsters walk into one of these nightclubs up in London, the whole place goes quiet, and they probably think, I hope they don't start singing.
I'd have to check you for ID, Tel.
Welcome back, Ralph.
Yeah, thank you. It's good that I'm pleased to be on because of this legendary, the enforcer Des. Des is on the chat as well, and our dark art master LTL. You know what I mean? So it's going to be a good one.
All right, so let's take it back, way back. The starting 11. Starting 11 was Leno in goal, Chambers, Holding, Mari, Saka, Ceballos, Xhaka, Partey, Pepe, Lacazette, Martin. Guys, was there any surprises in the starting 11? Des, any surprises?
No, not really. Not so much a surprise. I was a little bit disappointed in one respect. Aziz, I would have just loved to have seen him start from the beginning, just as Martinelli did. You know, but other than that, no, I thought it was a pretty strong team, to be quite honest.
Yeah. Tel, for you, any surprises, or was it?
Well, no, I have been calling out the last 2 games for us to play 3 at the back again and get that back defence tight. And so as soon as I saw the team, I thought, are they playing 3 at the back? But my God, what very fluid 3 at the back. We had the 2 big centre backs, Holden and Mari. Then we had Xhaka, who I thought was closely. I mean, he wasn't the man of the match, but he kind of ran that closely because he was everywhere. He was left back, he was left wing back, he was left midfield, he dropped in, he moved forward. Some of his 40, 50-yard passes, and you know, I criticised him over in the past, but his 40 and 50-yard passes were phenomenal, constantly accurate, really good. And although he doesn't tackle well, he's sensible enough to know how to hold an opposition player back. And so first of all, I'm glad that we went back to a semblance of a three-man defence, and that then crowds the midfield. And the midfield was so fluid. You had Laka coming back deep into midfield as he did against Slavia Prague and collecting the ball. I thought the midfield were wonderful because they had so many people in there. We've got a team of touch players. You know, the first touch and the ball movement was fantastic. I've got a caveat, which is I still think we badly need a ball runner, somebody who runs with the ball through, a bit like Grealish does, or Santi Cazorla used to, and runs through that midfield, 20, 30-yard runs. But no, I thought we were difficult to play against tonight because there was so much first touch, second touch, movement. If I had any criticism, we tended to try and thread the eye of a needle. It looked like Man City light. You know, we were constantly trying to play around that zone 14, just outside the area that where the sort of D is, and that was the first goal was a perfect example of that. Once you're in that area, you can do anything can happen, and the first goal was an absolute training ground beauty. Yeah,
brilliant. Ralph, your estimation of at least the first half. I've got to say, actually, there was one part in the second half when Xhaka was he was going to cross over the halfway line, and you could see Arteta say, no, Xhaka, stay back, mate. Don't go any further, just stay back. Ralph, your thoughts, please.
It was a much needed confidence win. I found that the Xhaka playing on the left in defence, that was a bit of a new one for me, to be honest. And I felt that he did what you should do. You know, you support your left winger, and then when you do get the ball, you don't mess about with it. You pass it quick. There's a couple of times when in the second half they seem to, when they get bogged down in the corner, they seem to be able to actually spin and turn around, which is something that you don't normally associate Xhaka with. Is when he gets the ball, he takes such a long time to turn away from the opposition. But he was quite lively in that aspect. And Martinelli, I'm happy for Martinelli that he scored, because you can see that he was really determined. There was one point when he did go down, and I was thinking, you know what, take him off, because I want him for Thursday. But he battled for it, same as Saka as well. And from a confidence point of view, it was good to see Martinelli actually get on the score sheet, because now he can start pushing for being up front for Thursday. But it was a good confidence performance from the team. Can't really fault anyone.
There's Laka's first goal. I saw in the WhatsApp group people saying, it's very Wenger ball-esque.
Yeah. It had a touch of that about it. Yeah, and that's how we should be playing. And I know people can say it's Sheffield, Sheffield United, but you should be playing this week in, week out, this type of football, because this type of football is the football that suits Arsenal. You know what I mean? And to pick a man of the match in this game, I'm not going to tell you who I think it was yet, but tonight we were spoilt for choice.
Yeah.
Instead of it being just one standout player, there was probably 4 you could have picked from, maybe even 5. And for Arsenal to have a game like that and keep a clean sheet, which is something we haven't done very regularly this season. I mean, I know people could also say you can't get too excited because it's Sheffield United, and if we don't do anything on Thursday, this result is, it's cancelled out. But I don't agree with that, because end of the day, and this is the reason why I don't agree, is because it will give the fans a bit of confidence for Thursday. It will give the players a bit of confidence for Thursday. And if we've got players who are injured coming back as well, it may even give us even more confidence. Is that a fair thing to say?
Yeah. So do you think Lacazette, obviously he had a point to prove, didn't he? Knowing fully well he missed that 1-on-1 on Thursday.
Yeah.
But did he look like a man on a mission today?
Yeah, I did. I mean, I know we've all said he's playing for a contract, but that's how he should play. That's how he should score. And end of the day, that's what he's paid for. You know, I mean, you've got to look at the man and say, look, you can do it, so do it more often. Sorry to be blunt about it, or not go into loads and loads of detail, but the guy can do it. He's got it in his bag. So, Lecker, do it more often, or I'm coming to get you. Say again, Tel. Say again.
We should call you Des the Enforcer, because you've definitely got
it, man. But yeah, that's how I feel about Lacazette tonight. I think he showed his true class and what we bought him for.
Yeah.
And he's so good at holding the ball up. I mean, you know, something else he brings.
Tel, I know you said on a few occasions that it seems like Lacazette's paying for a contract. I don't think it's as easy as that. Because he's, I mean, yeah. Why is he not doing it, more often than not? I don't think it's as easy as, people saying, oh, the player is clearly paying for a contract. But I don't think it's as easy. But I'll tell you what, I'll take his performance tonight. Any given match day, that performance there was outstanding, Tel. But your estimation about Lacazette.
I think you got a thing about professional pride there as well. He's playing with a lot of pride. He wants to put his whole self into the game. And I think if Arteta has learnt anything tonight, and I really hope he does, he's learnt that attitude is everything. Now, whatever the motivation is, Laka is completely motivated. His attitude is completely right. He's given everything. Now, around him, the players that stand out with phenomenal attitude are some of our younger players. Martinelli's attitude was perfect tonight. And when you look around the team, it's the young players that are showing Arsenal attitude. I think that's what we should call it. It's not just a perfect attitude. It's an Arsenal attitude. And while I'm delighted with the way we played, I was watching very carefully the W man when he came, and I was pretty upset when I watched it, because he looks like a guy who doesn't want to get injured. So what he does is he doesn't close anybody down properly. He doesn't put his foot in, and he kind of, you see those little white feet, white boots sort of running along, but he's not doing anything. And he looks like a guy that, what is he, 31, 32? He's probably thinking, my kids are settled in London. We're settled in London. Couldn't get into Chelsea again. So I'm at Arsenal, but I'm not gonna risk everything on a tricky tackle. So he doesn't do that. Now, if you've got a midfielder running around that's not tackling, and I can't remember the last time I saw him tackle, let alone win a tackle, then
that's
really,
very true.
You've got only half a player there. And I know Arteta is difficult when you're the leader of any big organisation. He doesn't want to have to admit that he's got it wrong. But if we didn't know of Willian's reputation and he just came to us, we would say, wrong, it's not worth it, get him out. And the other side of the coin is we've got players who are showing the Arsenal attitude that we want to see, mostly young players, but not all young players. We've got a lot of players out there. We had Mari, who I thought played very, very well. He always looks tidy. He's one of those guys, if you don't notice him, he's actually doing a good job. So he's a very experienced guy. And Xhaka, as I say, played a fantastic game. So we're beginning to get a really good blend, as we've had in all our great teams, of young players coming through with a lot to prove, and some old heads who have still got a few years left and can still find that enthusiasm. So Xhaka, who I thought we might sell at the end of the season, I would like to see him stay. And I was thinking towards the end of the match, every player in their career sometimes develops into a slightly different player, as we saw with Santi Cazorla, who came as a winger, then dropped back into midfield, and in the end became a DM. Well, maybe Xhaka's future is even where he played for us now today, where he's shoring up that left wing back area, and he's playing some wonderful crossfield balls. And you know, I think Arteta's going to have to be careful now, because he's got some players that have to go. And I think Willian is one. I'm sorry, we've given him a season, and I've really not seen anything on the ball, off the ball, at any point where I can praise him. And I hate saying that about a player. I kept thinking when he came on, he was more on the right-hand side, which is where he played for Chelsea. I thought, great, let's see him do something. Didn't happen.
Yeah, I don't know. For me, I'd still like to see Xhaka go. I don't want Xhaka to remain at Arsenal, but I'll respect your opinion. The one thing that actually Des, the point Des made about you could have chosen from any one of 5 or 6 players for the man of the match. That is a good sign. When you've got at least 50% of the players who actually turned up. Sorry, Ralph, you want to say something, Ralph?
Yeah, I was going to go back to what Eltel was saying about players playing for Lacazette playing for a contract. I think that kind of terminology, what it is the fact that all too often we've seen it where players tend to just, there's a difference between a dip in form and not showing up. These players have got it in them to be consistent, and they've whenever it's come to the matches when it really does matter, like playing against Liverpool, playing against Man United, playing against Chelsea, they disappear. Well, let's not take anything away from tonight. Tonight was a really good performance. Yeah, it is Sheffield United, and they're battling for relegation. This was the right this was the right match for Arsenal to play, but we always come to this point where we get our hopes up a little bit, and now when it's going to have to count, i.e. Thursday, would you put, for example, the team that started today in the match for on Thursday?
That's a good question. Yeah. Could I just say something about Xhaka? Sorry, Eltel, could I just say something about Xhaka? Yeah. Today, I felt that the position was great for him. I thought, and also what that also means is because Tierney's out, they were saying put Saka in left back, and to be honest, I think put Xhaka in because it keeps Saka where he should be. Do you know what I mean? And I just thought he played well in that position. Play him there on Thursday night. And I just wanted to say one more thing about Martinelli. He's made such a strong case for himself today. I don't mean this in the way I'm going to say it, but it kind of said to us, we don't need Orba. So now he can walk up to Mikel Arteta. Sorry, I've got my tongue tied. Walk up to Mikel Arteta and say, look, I want to play me. Yeah, I'm not going to sulk. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to look like Travis Scott. You know, do you know what I mean? He wants to play football, and I think that's the difference between Orba and Martinelli. There's lots of others as well, but this is one thing I'm picking up on. Martinelli today gave his all. Orba wouldn't have, and that's, again, it's my opinion. I know, and I'm sorry if it upsets the chat, but Orba wasn't given his all today, but Martinelli did. So I think Martinelli should start on Thursday. I think he's earned the right.
Yeah,
I really do. All right. But it may also be that Orba's got the flu, but Martinelli deserves to play on Thursday.
But Des, do you think he will play on Thursday? Do you think Martinelli will be chosen?
I would hope so, because he's earned it. Because he has earned it, and we've been screaming it. Tell Raz, Alex, we have been screaming it for I don't know how long. Play the kids. Even the chat has been screaming, play the kids. And all Arteta's doing is proving us right. Because when he plays them, look at the difference. You know, and that's the difference for Arsenal this season. The kids want to play. The old boys just want to earn a paycheck. It's like I said that on the Easy Talk the other night, but it's the truth. I mean, we all played football at school. I was a goalkeeper for my school, okay? You never walked on the pitch wanting to lose. You play your heart out. And this is the old boys of this team are not doing that. They're not doing it at all. They've got no passion. They've got nothing. In fact, I'd rather they all went off and played golf because they'd probably be better at it. Do you know? It's just something like that. Leave the team alone. If you don't want to play for this team, leave the team or ask to be sold, because you're wasting the fans' time and energy. That's all I've got to say.
Des, quick question to you, Des.
Yeah.
If Alba hadn't had the flu today, and he was available, do you think Martinelli would have played today?
No, he would have been a bit part player. He might have come on in the second half. I don't think. Yeah, he probably wouldn't have got a look in. But the positive you could take from Alex, the positive you could take from that is if he came on in the second half, that's when he scored. Do you know what I mean? If you're gonna turn it into a positive, that's when Martinelli scored. So it's ifs, buts, and maybes, isn't it?
But the point I'm trying to make there is it's more that Arteta's hand was forced because Alba apparently reported.
So I get what you mean now. Yeah, I get what you mean now. Sorry, I was just trying to be positive all the way through. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I felt in this match as well. Sorry, guys, and I'm saying a lot, but this is my last point. I felt in this match as well, in the second half, we were only flat for about 15, 20 minutes. And then we dominated the match. But in the second half, we had this lull of 15 to 20 minutes where it was as if we were catching our breaths. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Sorry, Tel, do you want to finish your point now? Sorry,
no, I'm just laughing at Ober's haircut. What is that all about? His styling. Has somebody said to him, we used to have a bloke called Jovino, why don't you get a haircut like his?
Tel, if you look up a guy called Travis Scott later, he's a complete double of Travis Scott, who's a rapper.
Okay.
You'll see what I mean if you
if I can jump in.
Of course you can.
if I can jump in. The first thing that Des was saying, Des, don't ever apologise for your opinion because it comes from the heart. It's one of the things that Arteta says, that if it comes from the right place, then it has to be, and that's the reason why on this platform, we may have difference. You have me and Alex, we have like our difference of opinions, but it's coming from the right place. It's not coming just out of just because we want to fill air. The second part of this as well is the fact that the team, if, for example, Aubameyang was available, my concerns is that Arteta will revert to type because he sees it as, I made this decision and I've got to back it up. I've got to back it up. I've got to back my man up. He, like I said earlier this morning, that the fact that he wanted Aubameyang to sign, and we all, as Arsenal fans, was all hoping that Aubameyang would sign because then it would lead to better things. I felt that if we kept hold of if we kept hold of Martinez with Aubameyang signing, I don't think we would be in this position where we are at this moment in time. But it's all ifs, ands, buts, and maybes. So we are where we are at this moment in time.
I have to say, just to come back on you, Raz, I have to say I totally agree with what you've just said, because I have said for I don't know how long, Ryan in, Leno out. I don't see Leno as the number one keeper in Arsenal. I think Ryan would do a better job. I really do. So I totally agree with what you just said there. Yeah. So, yeah, I know. And I only apologise because I'm apologising to the chat because I know there's so many different opinions out there. Do you know what I mean, mate? And I don't want to offend anybody. That's the thing.
No. You can't keep everybody happy all the time. You're it's as strong as anybody else is, and sometimes you have to take. I sit back because when I hear LTL talk and Alex and James and everybody else, I learn something. I learn something new every day. But as long as I voice my opinion, and as long as we have the say a healthy discussion, then it makes the chat better. But I don't apologize. Don't apologize.
Okay, thank you.
Tel, you want to say something, Tel?
I was just going to say, we've talked a lot about attitude tonight, and the from most of our players was spot on tonight. And looking back at Martinez, he cried when he won the FA Cup because he'd finally made it. His team was Arsenal. He'd made it through. He cried. His passion about being a goalkeeper, an FA Cup final, and Arsenal. You can't buy that. You can't buy that. And tonight, Leno, who I'm not a great devotee, he's a shot stopper. At one point, and I'll bet you all recollect this one, the ball came and I thought he's going to grab it, and he punched it. And I nearly put on WhatsApp, have we got a goalkeeper or a middleweight boxer? He punched it. What?
Anyway.
As a keeper, I was always taught, catch it first. Your first aim is to catch it. Yeah. If you don't catch it, palm it round the post. Yeah. And if you can't palm it, just get in the way of it. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I totally agree. Totally agree.
Yeah. Let's go into the live chat for the first time, and we've got Colin Young. Because Alex, now I'm fired up. I can't wait. Towards the beginning of the season, there was one thing. I was about spending a bunch of money on a number 10. Yes. There has not been a better illustration than today. Saka is so creative and talented. I said that forever ago. I can't believe my eyes. Got to watch him essentially play there. I mean, for me, what I see when I see Saka play is like he's showing Pepe what he should be doing. Yeah. Pepe, this is what you should be doing. We paid 72 million pence for you. This is what you should be doing. Learn the lesson. Learn the lesson, Pepe. I thought for the first 20 minutes, I found Pepe, his first touch, his second touch, it took a while for him to warm up, you know, but yeah, Saka teaching him a lesson. 72 pence, Pepe, and we're still paying for you. Sort yourself out. Anyway.
Not having a rant, are you, Alex?
No, we'll never have a rant.
Right away.
Point two. Martinelli is a difference maker. We always said that. Point three, and only negative. Leno, 2 times in the game, didn't catch the ball when he should have. Emmy, biggest asset. Well, he was our biggest asset. And boy, are we going to upset a lot of people tonight. Leno ins and it is what it is. It is what it is. Fake Shaq says I need Martinelli starting next. It's not going to happen. He's not going to start on Thursday. I bet you any money there he won't start. He won't start.
Yeah, you're probably right, but he, as I've said before, and I'll stick by it, he should do because he's earned the right to. And the kid brings something different. We're fed up as we said it the other day. Watching Arsenal at the moment is painful for all of us. We need something fresh, something new, something that we can back as fans. Yeah, something that we can go to the top of our houses, open a window, and shout our lungs out because we're proud of the team. You know, and I think Martinelli, Saka. I mean, you say Saka, yeah, and I've got to have my Odegaard comment. Okay, I love the guy so much; it's unbelievable. But anyway, no, my point I'm going to make is that we didn't even miss Odegaard tonight, and I bet you never thought you'd hear me say that. But if he had have been there, we could have had more. I think we could have had more goals. I think the floodgates would have opened. I mean, I'm happy with a 3-0. Don't get me wrong, but I think there could have been 5, 6.
Yeah.
Because they just seem to fall apart at the back.
Yeah. Are you not a little bit worried about Marcel? It seems to be a little bit fragile. Because I was thinking, he's injured again. He's injured again. Do you not think? Do you think it's
because? Like I said the other night on the Easy Talk, Alex, when I said that the 3 kids have been injured the most and fouled the most. Yeah. Do you not think it's because people fear him?
Oh, without a shadow of a doubt.
Or do you think it's because it's self-inflicted?
Well, I think, Tel, you believe literally that he puts himself in those situations where he's quite vulnerable, don't you, Tel?
Yeah, he did that tonight, didn't he? And they played it back, and I don't think he really got fouled so much as his second the leg that was brown was fine, and then when he put his left leg down, he put it down too soon, and then all his weight went through it, and he kind of went down. And I thought, oh my God, you've done this to yourself again, you know. So I do worry that he needs to have really good training alongside him to work his stride length, patterns of play, and just make sure he keeps himself fit and doesn't run himself into trouble. Now, on the other hand, we've got a winger on the other side, Pepe, who, you know, he looks like he's like a sort of one of these puppets, and all his limbs have got strings on them. And tonight, I didn't know whether he's got a look on his face always, you know, and it's when you're teaching kids and you're teaching them long division or you know, it's something tricky. And, you know, sometimes kids give you this slightly startled look, but kind of eyebrows go up and they're quite happy, but their mouth drops open like that. And he has this look about him as if to say, I don't know where I am. Suddenly found myself on a football pitch. You know, I don't know any of these people. And he looks like that. And then he receives the ball. Now, somebody put the 3 goals on a loop, and I watched it. And the last, was it the last goal? Martinelli's first goal. The reason why the ball comes to him is from a misplaced pass from a Sheffield player. So he's not even played in because he doesn't know how to accept a pass from our players. So he gets a misplaced pass, runs into the penalty area. And of course, in the penalty area, he's absolute dynamite because nobody knows which way he's going to go, let alone Pepe himself. So I'm always loving it when he's facing the play and running into the penalty area because people are falling like sort of 9 pins. And being an ex-goalkeeper, I knew his shot would challenge the Sheffield goalkeeper, and the goalkeeper just managed to parry it into Martinelli's feet. But I do worry about Pepe. I just don't see a long-term quality player because it's all a bit loose and it's all a bit, the ball bounces off him and he's never turning to face the opposition with it. So if he does play on Thursday, that would be my only concern. He's the sort of guy who can play for 89 minutes and be absolutely frustratingly average, and then he can do a piece of magic and turn a game for you.
Yeah, that's not a good return actually. Sorry, I've got Ashley D who says it was only Sheffield United, Des. No reason to get too excited. Even my grandmother's bingo team would have been able to beat Sheffield United. Only Sheffield United.
Yeah, I know, but it's still a win. They've been so far and few between this season. You've got to take them, haven't you, Ashley? You know what I mean? And Ashley, just to let you know when they wanted me to be manager this morning, and I had LTEL as my scouting team, and my assistant manager is obviously Alex, and my trainee manager is Raz. I would have you as my PR, as the press person, most definitely, because you'd be able to sort anybody out. But going back to what was the point again? Sorry, what was the point? Let me just see. Just Sheffield. Yeah, I know, but we have to take them when we get them, and it's as simple as that. And yeah, that's it, really. That's all I can say.
Fake Chat says, I'm sure it was only Sheffield United, but hopefully that brings confidence to the players. And that is it. The hope can be a killer, Ralph. You know, you're thinking, yeah, okay, we've got the win. Then comes Thursday, and come Thursday, Ralph.
It's pretty much what we spoke about this morning. We didn't know what Arsenal was going to turn up today. If we had to be honest, we were optimistic that we want to win because it's Sheffield United, and we was hoping that it'll somehow galvanise the team into thinking, right, you know what, this is where we are. We've got whatever we do today now can have a further bearing on the way that I'm going to be included in the team for Thursday. So hopefully those players that were giving Arteta a bit of a headache. Just going back to the point that LTEL was saying about Saka and Martinelli, when I used to play in defence, if I always used to man mark 1 or 2 strikers, and I talk to my defensive line and say, look out for the worst kind of striker to mark is somebody who's always a bit shorter than you, especially if they're skilled, because they've got that low sense of gravity. And when they can spin away and lay a pass off, or if they were strong, physically strong, like a Maradona type, as a defender, you have to be, one, careful because they're tricky, but two, you want to make sure that you enforce your will on them as well to put them off. So the likes of Martinelli and Martinelli and Saka, they have to toughen up. It is a bit harsh to have to say that, purely because when you're in the Premiership, it's very unforgiving. It's not like in the La Liga or any of the European countries where you do get a bit of time to play. Here, it's all about pace. And if I, as a defender, can identify you as a threat, I will do whatever it takes to make sure that I either take you down outside of my defensive area, or to at least leave something on you to make you think, hang on a minute, now if I come down that channel where that defender is, I know it's going to give me a hard time. So it's for Saka and for Martinelli to start having a bit of savvy about how they play that, and also Pepe as well. Yeah, Pepe's come with a big price tag. What I saw is that he gets the ball and he loses it quickly. He does the same thing. He goes out and turns around and tries to do a bit of trickery. For me, he's tailor-made for me, because I just wait till he gets onto his right foot and I force him left. I force him where he don't want to go. And then before you know it, he loses the ball. Partey as well. Partey, centre mid, a couple of times he had the ball, and when he passed it was like he's passing to no one. You either run with it to deliver that killer pass, or you look for who you can link up with, and then you back them up. So those are the observations I saw. But for me, as a defender, if I saw someone's tricky, and especially young, when as a youngster, they've got that kind of like, they want to bounce up on and they want to show you, I would dig him early just to show him that, look, I'm here. So if you want to come down me, then I'm waiting for you. And that's why I tell my other defensive line, as soon as you're one-on-one, if you're a sweeper, you're the last man of defense, but make sure that you leave something on him, so that if he wants to try it again, you put the doubt in the striker's mind. But like I said, it's for Saka and Martinelli to have to toughen up a little bit.
I thought Thomas Partey played quite well. It was fairly quiet, but the through ball for Laka.
He was, he was well, but I was doing something that Eltel does. He said that he always looks at a particular player, and I was keeping an eye on Partey first half, and what I saw of him, he like Terry did this observation. He doesn't run. He receives the ball and he'll pass it, but he doesn't run with it. If you want to look at, for example, a Vieira or a Gilberto, when they had the ball, they ran. They never put the ball back behind them, because you're allowing your opposition 10, maybe 15 yards more attack threat onto you. So what he did, what Gilberto and Vieira would do, they get the ball and they run forward. That way, then you're pressing. When you're pressing and you've got everyone else on the same page, then it's easy to make your pass. When you lay the pass off, then you can come back into defense, because you're thinking, just in case they lose it, I want to be in a position where I can either be the first one to attack, or if I have to put a tackle in, I know that my defensive line's backing me up.
Vieira. Oh, Vieira.
Don't get me started. Don't get me started on Partey.
Well,
don't get me started on Partey. Oh,
there's actually a tactical thing going on there, following on from what Raz is saying. Because similarly, I've gone back and looked at our midfield when we had Vieira in the midfield and Parler and so on. And the one thing they did do, as Raz quite rightly says, is they attacked that midfield space. They kept the ball and they attacked it. They might do the odd 1-2, but they were attacking. Now, when that happens in modern football, when you've got the ball, so there's been a turnover either at the back or in defensive midfield, and now your midfield is running with it. What opposition teams do is they have a set way of defending, and all their players are running back into their defensive shape. And it's at that moment, for 2 or 3 or 4 seconds, that your midfielders can run with the ball, because nobody's going to tackle them all the back 4 or 5 are running back. The defensive midfielders are running back, and you've got a whole of that middle part, that middle third of the field. And if you break quickly, you've suddenly got defenders that aren't ready. They're still running back. They're on their heels. And so many times I saw was okay. He played some wonderful through balls, and I'm all for making the ball do the work. But there were times when I thought, why aren't you running with it? There's nobody that is coming against you. Run 10 or 15 yards. Put the fear of God up these guys by running at them. And every time he had the opportunity, he didn't do it. Now, it's the big question is, a lot of people have said, is he not fit? Or did we buy a player that we knew didn't do that? In which case, he's a defensive midfielder. That's what, because he never runs, as Raz was saying, more than about 10 or 15 yards, and then the ball goes either forward, sideways, or backwards. And we don't see that running through midfield. And that's what, when I look at other teams, a lot of the top teams have got guys who can run with the ball, attack that middle space at pace, and are dribblers. And funny enough, I've been looking at some of the players Arsenal have been looking for, and some of them are looking at, and some of them I'd never heard of these players before, but quite a lot of them, that what they're good at is dribbling with the ball at pace through that middle field. So they aren't wingers, but they're very like Grealish. They get the ball, low center of gravity, or it doesn't have to be low. I mean, Patrick Vieira was 6'4", but once he went on a run, nobody could get the ball off him, and then he had the vision to look up and play it. So I would have thought, if there is a tactic, people have said, what is Arteta ball? What are we expecting to see? I think that might be one of the things we see next season, because ever since Emery was there, and maybe the last few years of Wenger, we never really ran with the ball through midfield, and we got overrun in midfield so often. And I know this because my seat at Arsenal is in that midfield spot. And the number of times I've seen the opposition running through us, and I'm thinking, where's our defenders? And then when we get the ball, instead of running through that midfield, we play it sideways. So, I think, you know me, I'm very much in favour of Arteta staying. And isn't Emery doing well? Oh, my goodness. I saw some footage of his current team, and they are looking a very good team. So I hope we get through to face them in the semi-final. But, there'd be no point, I don't think, in changing Arteta now. He's a very good coach, and he's still learning to be a man manager. And if there were to be a change, I would like somebody else to come in alongside him that has been around the sort of block. And if there's any player unrest, then you have somebody in there who can go in and tell them, look, we're in charge. You do what we tell you, and we don't want any cliques.
Des, is it unfair? An unfair comparison, Vieira and Thomas Partey?
It's unfair on Vieira.
All right, okay.
I'm being honest, guys. I have right. Partey. Yeah, don't want to put the boy down any more than I already have done over the last week. But as I said on Friday, he's not worth the 45 million. He's not a goal scorer. He's an assister and a crosser of the ball. I have to agree with Tel about just wanted to say something about Pepe. He was like Bambi on ice tonight in the first half.
He was.
Me, frustrated. I am absolutely frustrated. Do you know who I know this would never happen, but Cazorla and Saka play together would have been out of this world, I think. Partey is, what did you say, Tel? Sorry, you said he was a defensive midfielder, yeah? And you said something before that. I'm sorry, I can't remember what you said, but
he doesn't be somebody who runs through midfield. It's not somebody who'll run through that midfield.
Yeah, I just don't think. I mean, he makes as many mistakes as he does good balls, I think. And as you say, Tel, I totally agree. He doesn't run, and we need a midfielder that will run at you, and scare you. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Make the defenders back up, and they're not doing that. And that's, I mean, I know we go back to Tony Adams, but the defense was They were ugly. I mean, look at Martin Keown and Bowles and Tony Adams. You didn't run at them because you were scared of them. You were scared you were going to beat them down a dark alley. Do you know what I mean? But we need midfielders that are not scared of running at defenders, because that's how we break teams down. And I'm getting so fed up, and I think Bellerong's very it can be accused of this. How many balls has he put into the box and there's nobody there? He doesn't even look up. He just belts it and hopes. And I think Thomas Partey, don't get me wrong, he's got skills. He can put balls through that are really, really good. Yeah. But it's not the be all and end all for Arsenal. And I agree with Tel. Tel is spot on. He's a defensive midfielder. And when you've got him and El Neni together, that's two defensive midfielders. And it just slows the game down. Yeah. And Arsenal should be playing fast, fluent football. You know what I mean? And that's how I feel about Partey. As I've said before, don't believe the hype, because he doesn't live up to it. And I sound like I'm a right downer on my team, but this is how this season has affected me, to where I'm absolutely criticising players because they're not doing what they say on the tin or what they were bought for. And that's why I get annoyed.
Or maybe they can't do what they've been asked to do, Des. It's not so much they're not doing it.
Why would you say can't, Alex? Why would you say can't do?
I don't know, because we're just speaking about, likes of Pepe, he's not a winger, and he's done all his damage. Yeah. He played for Lille in the penalty box. Unai Emery didn't ask for Pepe. He asked for Zaha. Whether you agree with the Crystal Palace player or not, he asked for that player for a specific reason.
That's a fair point.
Is it a fact that these players cannot do what the managers ask them to do? And if that's the case, then get them out. Square pegs and round holes, and we're not looking for that. We're not looking for that.
So if that's sorry, Tel, can I ask you another question? If that is the case, what are the scouting team doing? So let's say Tel's the manager, right, and he wants Raz as a player. Let's say it like that, right? Let's be hypothetical just for a second, right? He wants Raz as a player. He's going to send me as a scout and say, right, go and watch this boy for, let's say, 6 weeks, Tel, yeah? Now, you're going to want as much information off of me as possible to help you decide whether you buy Raz, aren't you? So someone said the other night that players are being worked out by computers. Do you remember, Alex? And Daniel said, well, our computers have got a virus. Do you know what I mean? If you're working out players by computers, then that is totally wrong. You've got to go and watch these boys, and you've got to look for their talents. And I know, Alex, you said this morning or maybe yesterday, and I actually answered you back, not in a cheeky way, but you were on about you don't watch players on YouTube. Yeah. And I came back at you, well, yeah, I agree, but if the players didn't have them skills, they wouldn't be in those videos. But I still agree with you. You can't watch a video and go, that's the lad. You've got to go and see how he is on the pitch, see what his temperament is like, get to know the player inside out. And I don't think our scouts, if we have any, are doing that. They're just going, oh, go on.
I don't think we do. It's more about, like the old boy network. Agents know this agent, who knows this player, rather than, like you say, a scout who can actually go and see the player and give like a summation of the player, whether he'd be right for Arsenal or not. We don't have that anymore. We don't. I mean,
who came up the price for Pepe at £72 million?
I've got an answer for that one. Raul.
Please go ahead.
Raul got him. He sacked Mislintat, and Raul said, "I'll do this with contacts, Des." And Raul did some sort of deal. Okay, was it Kia Jabchi? And he did a deal for a crazy amount of money. And then what happens? Arsenal suddenly sack Raul. Nobody knows why. It's all been kept under wraps. I suspect that somebody because they Kroenke brought in a guy to come and look at the Arsenal finances, and then
Yeah.
Raul was gone. I suspect there's jiggery pokery gone on there, and it happens in football. It happens in an awful lot of things, and the player was overvalued. I hope there weren't brown packets going around with sort of cash in them. But anybody who's seen Pepe play knows he isn't worth 72 million.
Yeah.
Even on a good day, he's not worth half
No.
that. So we have to be suspicious, and that Arsenal realised what had happened, got rid of Raul, but didn't say anything about it. Just got him out and just had to swallow the situation. Which means, for me, although I've seen the bits of Pepe where he did play well for Lille, it was always exactly like we got today. When he's in the penalty area, he's totally unplayable. And he's facing the goal, he's got the ball at his feet, and the men are falling all over the place. But he can't collect it. He doesn't know how to collect it and spin and turn. And I'm afraid I think his time's numbered. And I mean, I would virtually play this team on Thursday. I would. Whether I put Cedric at right back instead of Chambers, I'm not sure. It depends on how we think. If there's big forwards playing against us, that's presumably why we played Chambers there today. But I would virtually play this team again. And if Saka's fit. And funnily enough, one of the things that Martin Keown quite rightly excuse me, pointed out is that Arteta keeps changing the team. Now, defenses love playing together to get the system, who goes deep, who goes short, who goes wide, who tucks in. Defenses are all about habit and pattern. And apparently the statistics are that when Mari plays, Arsenal do well. He's a kind of a hidden ghost player, isn't he? You don't notice him, but he seems to be the one guy that can make that defence work. So if I was Arteta, I'd be thinking very seriously about not tinkering with the team too much, playing almost the same team, bar maybe one or two players, keep that defensive system, keep the three at the back, because we're going to have to score in Prague. Whatever happens, we're going to have to score. And at the moment, Laka's on fire. Martinelli's playing well. We've got Xhaka playing this unusual wing-back, left-back role. Maybe it's good with Chambers on the other side because he tends to stay back a bit further. And let's hope that some players like Partey are gradually learning how to play and who's going to be where. Maybe if Odegaard's back or Emile Smith-Rowe, let's get a proper number 10 in there. But I would err on the side of trying to pick a pretty similar team and not disturb that defence and defensive midfield for the next few games.
Okay, let's go in the live chat just for the last time. I've got Rahadala says hi to all of us. Colin says that was the first time I actually shouted, "Put the W man on" when Saka went down. But don't tell anybody I said that.
Can I ask a question about the W man to you guys? You know, without having Odegaard or ERS, yeah. Were you worried that he was going to put Willian at number 10 at the beginning of the match? Were you guys worried about that?
He did try it once, a good many matches back, and he didn't look too bad, funnily enough, because he didn't have to put his foot in. But as soon as he plays anywhere else, he has to track back, and he's not interested in tracking back. And so I'm afraid, as far as I'm concerned, the W man has to go.
Very true. Very true.
Don Arsenal says Arteta at the wheel, still sack him at the end of the season.
They're still going, aren't they? You know.
I know. Did
Arteta learn anything tonight? Do you think, guys?
That was going to be one of my other questions, actually. You know, how did you
sorry.
No, it's all right. It's all right. It's okay. It's okay. Anchorman 2. Go for it.
Sorry, guys. Sorry. It just popped in my head. I thought I'd ask.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What do you think, guys? Do you think he actually learned something?
I hope he learned that it's all about attitude now, and that you've got to mix some of these young players whose attitude is exemplary with some of the old heads who haven't let you down. Mari hasn't let him down. Xhaka's playing well in this unusual role that he's currently got him in there. Partey's finding his feet. Leave these guys there. It seems to work. And all right, it was against Sheffield United. But from what Martin Keown was saying, Slavia Prague are not a great team. You know, they're not in a great division out there in the Czech Republic. And if they leave so much space behind them, then Martinelli is the perfect man because when Lacazette goes deep, and as I said earlier, he goes really deep. I mean, he goes right back near the sort of D of the Arsenal penalty area. Then while he's like a false number 9, that's perfect for Martinelli to be running into space. So I would err on the side of a good mixture of young and more older players, more experienced. But I suspect he won't learn that lesson. I suspect when push comes to shove in what might be the biggest match of our season, he will revert to some of the older heads. I hope he doesn't. I hope he's learned his lesson. And I do worry that the assistant managers alongside him need to be much stronger with him and say, look, this is working when you put these feisty young boys on there who are giving everything. So think hard and don't keep playing guys that are letting you down.
Okay. Ashley D says, I do believe Laka scored his 50th Premier League goal for Arsenal today. Okay, well, if that's the case, congratulations to him. Russ Morgan says, I could make a compilation of myself and look half decent on YouTube. Maybe I might try that myself. Go on, Des. You want to say something, Des?
I was just going to say, did you guys realise that Sheffield are actually relegated now?
No.
Yeah, they're actually they're relegated as of losing this game.
Oh wow.
So yeah.
Football, isn't it?
That's the ups and downs of football, isn't it?
Yeah. Ashley D says, Raul did a George Graham, but he used a suitcase instead of a brown paper envelope. That's a good one, actually. Oh dear, guys, I'm calling this one to an end. It's quite late, and yeah, it's quite late. But yeah, we overcame the little bit of resistance from Sheffield United. 2 goals, a brace from Lacazette and 1 goal from the one that I was so happy for Martinelli scored that goal.
Oh yeah,
so happy for him, really happy for him. But yeah, I will be back tomorrow morning. Yeah, you can't get rid of me. Yeah, I'm going to be here, give some more live news. But before we end this one, also a big thank you to all my contributors, the panelists. Ralph, thank you, Geese. What?
You're on mute, Ralph, I think.
I put him on mute. Sorry.
Yeah,
I wonder why.
You have to understand something. I see what it flashes up on my screen. Ralph, you're muted. I say, okay. I've been waiting.
Sorry, Ralph.
Okay. So he muted me. So a pleasure as always. Good to meet you, Des, as well.
And you, mate.
And we'll catch up many more times if it's not on the WhatsApp group or Twitter or on this platform as well. And as always, LTEL with the Dark Arts, amazing as always, all good. You guys stay safe, and to our subscribers as well, thanks for joining this evening. It's been really, really good.
Yeah, but also, like I said, Des has invited all 3 of us actually to go up and see him in Newcastle, and
yeah,
I think a little bit
anytime
out in the UK with pubs and restaurants opening up tomorrow. So I hope sometime in the future, this side of 2021, we'll go see Des. We might do some filming as well. But yeah. LTEL, lovely jubbly. How's the missus?
Well, she's bearing up, man. But it's lovely after seeing Arsenal win and looking forward to a quarter-final, second leg. There's all to play for. We've got some lovely young players coming through. We've got all the people watching Cannon Fodder. and you can see us as we approach the match, and then I'm no doubt we'll look at it afterwards. But I've got a lot of hope. You know, I think the players are showing Arteta which team to play, and I hope he does. And we were very unlucky in that last match. You know, forwards missing what would look like pretty simple goals, and Ober missing a side footer. So I got a feeling luck is going to be with us, and I think we'll probably squeeze through.
Well done. Here. Des, you know, Des, I think you probably said this on the Easy Talk about players scoring own goals unless you're going down the other end and scoring a goal to redeem themselves. And I thought because Lacazette had missed that 1-on-1 on Thursday, I thought he redeemed himself by scoring a brace tonight. Really, really good from Lacazette. Yeah,
totally. Yeah, I would totally agree. Yeah, and basically proved my point, as you said, from the Easy Talk, where he probably came off of that match thinking, God, I have made a mistake, you know, and I've got to put this right. I've got to get the fans' faith back, you know, and I think that's what happened. I think he went on there tonight with a mission, and I think he completed his mission really, and he was backed up by Martinelli, and you can't knock that. And I just want to say thank you for having me on with Raz and Eltel. I've wanted this for a very long time, and now my cannon fodder, I'm buzzing, guys. It's been an absolute privilege, and I just want to shout out as well to Colin Young, because he is my brother in the chat, and he's not my brother in real life, but he's my brother in the chat, and he tends to agree with me, so he's got taste. You know what I mean? But thank you very much for the opportunity. I hope to do it again soon with all of you, and this is the best Arsenal family in the world, without a shadow of a doubt.
Nice one, Des. Nice one, Des. So on that note there, we're going to end it here. If you've been watching us for the first time, please make sure it's not the last time. It's not a podcast as such. It's like it's a community. So why not come and join the community here? And yeah, so we can grow together. But anyway, guys, if you've been wondering who or what you've been listening to, you've been listening to Cannon Fodder, the channel for Arsenal fans all